We will continue on with Arkansas head coach Chad Morris. Coach will ask you to make a brief opening statement, and then we'll open it to Q&A. As a reminder, if you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you and call on you.
Well, I just want to, first of all, thank you all for being here and, to be on this platform today and representing high school coaches all across the country and being in the best conference in college football is very exciting. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for the University of Arkansas. It's an honor to be their head football coach, and it's a job that I do not take for granted, and I thank God each and every day for this opportunity that we have to impact lives. The reception across our great state has been incredible, and the passion level for the Hogs has been something that I could not even imagine. But it's been 223 days since we've gotten to Fayetteville, and excited about the opportunity that lies ahead. And with that, I'll open up.
If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Go right back here on the left in the back.
Coach, how do you think the move to a 4-3 has affected guys like Dejon Harris and Dre Greenlaw?
Well, they had played in a 4-3 prior to, last year. And, being able to hire John Chavis as our defensive coordinator and transition back into the 4-3 and to watch these guys adjust and adapt to the style that Coach Chavis is bringing in. The aggressive style has been really exciting to see. I feel like that we're built for the 4-3. But when I say 4-3, I mean, let's say this. Let's back up for just a few minutes because, if you know anything about Coach Chavis, he's very much so of transitioning. We'll go to some 3 down at time, but we'll base out of a 4-3, but very multiple. So I'm excited, and it really, I know our players are as well.
We'll go standing over here on the right.
Coach, with this being your first SEC Media Days and being your first year as a head coach of Arkansas, what are your initial thoughts of today, and how are you taking it in?
Well, they told me there would be a few cameras here today, so I think a few would probably be a little bit of an understatement, but I've been really excited. Growing up and being a fan of college football, and when I was coaching high school ball, even at some of my prior stops, you knew that when you turned on the television and you saw the SEC Media Days being televised, you knew that football season was starting. And to know that I'm on the platform and part of the kickoff of college football, I'm extremely excited about this opportunity that we have.
Go right here on the left side on the back row.
Do you remember the first time you said left lane or hammer down or full tilt boogie? Where does these all come from?
Yeah, I would give it in a pregame speech, back even when I was in high school. I mean, it would just, we'd be playing a big opponent, and I'd be like, okay, I got to pull my left lane hammer down speech out, and I'd pull it out, and I said, well, all right, guys, we got to rev the engine and pop the clutch and put it in the left lane and put the hammer down. And I lost them at pop the clutch because these guys are like, I don't know what a clutch is. I just put it in drive. And so that's where it really started. And then when my introductory press conference, that was just who we are. I mean, that's how we were going to go. That's our lifestyle. And it just took off. I mean, it truly is. It wasn't scripted. It was that's just who we are. And it is taken off, to say the least.
We'll go over here standing on the right side.
Coach, with the new freshman redshirt rule, or maybe just the redshirt rule, how will you use that to your advantage with Connor Noland and John Stephen Jones? Will you be able to play them maybe now in the first 3 non-conference games?
Well, you can play them in any 4, and so obviously talking about Connor and John Stevens, as opposed to all of our players. Let me say this first about the redshirt rule. We would never, as a head coach, put a player on the field to play in this league in particular, in any league, if he wasn't mentally or physically ready to play. And through practice, through the preparation. So what's happened in the past with the prior redshirt rules is you may lose the focus of a young man. And you, even though you may tell him that, look, you've got to be ready just in case of an injury. We may need you late in the year. And, a lot of those young guys they're not mature enough to be able to flip that switch What this does, which I love the rule, it allows us that maybe we do have a guy or two that's ready early on. And if he is, we're going to play him. If he's not, then we're going to continue to develop that young man, and he's going to know that he has an opportunity to play as that season unfolds, that he's got to be engaged and in tune in meetings. And so when you're dealing with Connor and you're dealing with John Stevens and the opportunity for these young men to have an opportunity to play this year, absolutely, they sure do.
We'll go to the camera platform on the left side.
Hey, Coach. Anything that might surprise us heading into preseason camps, a position move, or maybe players that have stepped up their level of leadership? We always see something like that when there's coaching changes. Players seem to take opportunities like that. Anything that we could expect?
You know, just talking with Coach Carroll, Trumaine Carroll, our head strength and conditioning coach, and just the process that these young men have been going through, the transformation during the summer months, and seeing the leadership step forward. You know, I'm excited. I don't know that there's exactly just one guy or two guys that we're expecting a lot out of. I know this, when you look at our football team, they're in shape. They look apart as they're getting ready to go into camp, and so they know that the amount of running and that they've been doing through the course since January, they feel better than they've ever felt. And we've got some guys that have trimmed up, which needed to happen. And so I think that with that, you're going to see several guys step up. I know there's some in my mind that I need them to step up, but we'll wait and see how that goes. That'd be a great follow-up question maybe after a couple of days of fall camp practice. But I'm excited about the team meeting we had yesterday and listening to the input from our players step up and talk. And we've had several true freshmen step up and talk in a team meeting, which was very impressive.
Go to the back row over here on the right side.
Over here, Coach.
I'm sorry.
You kind of talked about him a little bit earlier, but obviously your defensive coordinator, John Chavis, is no stranger to the SEC, specifically the SEC West. What did you like about him? What made you want to bring him to Arkansas? And just his experience with the SEC defense.
Yeah, you know, I've been asked that, and that's a great question. And Chief is when I got the job, there was one phone call I was going to make first, and it was to John Chavis. And having experience of preparing for Coach Chavis's defenses, we actually played them here in Atlanta in a bowl game, and know the difficulty, and watching watching him develop teams and be a part of top defenses across the country and play at on the grand stage in college football and this conference and this division. I needed someone with that experience. I needed someone that I knew I could provide some advice or some help in how to defend and defending the spread offenses. And so we've done a great job offensively of working together and defensively of watching film together and cross-checking each other and listening to Coach Chavis as he's helped us give advice how to help grow our offense to different things defensively. So, man, this is a guy that's he's rejuvenated, he's excited, he's bouncing around, and man, our players have just have really taken a hold to him and his knowledge. And why wouldn't you when you're a guy that's been in the league as long as he has?
Go to the camera platform in the back on the left side.
Coach here in the back. One of the guys that's here today, Santos Ramirez, what was your first impression of him when you first met him, and what are you expecting from him this season?
You know, Santos, along with a lot of our players, the majority of our players, they did not want to go back down the road that they'd been on. And when I first met him, December the 7th, I believe, it was very evident that, look, Coach, we know change is coming, and we're excited about the change. We're trusting you. You're giving us hope. We don't want to travel down the road. We want to know what it was like, and we've got a bad taste in our mouth about it. But Coach, in his exact words, Coach, I'm here to tell you that I'm going to do everything in my part to help get this football team together and to where we don't travel down that road again. And so that immediately just caught on. And his leadership throughout the course of spring and his ability to understand that when he does make a mistake, he knew what happened and to be able to correct it. A very coachable young man, and he's a graduate, and I'm really excited about that for him as well.
Go to the back row over here on
Hey,
the
Yes, ma'am.
Coach.
right side.
With you being the new head coach of Arkansas, what is the type of chemistry that has been founded or like has laid down on the foundation between you and the players?
I think of trust. You know, if you ask me, say, Coach, what's the one word that has to happen? Trust. And I've worked extremely hard to gain their trust. And likewise, it's two-way street, you know, and so, and the respect that comes along with earning their trust. And in the way that I've started doing it, the way I did it from day one is just be who I am. This is who I am. Coaching football is just what I do. It's not who I am. And for them to be able to see me as something more than just a football coach, that I truly care about their life after the game of football, and trusting me in that process and how I go about developing them for life after football and providing them the resources to connect with our the corporations around Fayetteville, and helping them when the air and the ball does get let out. So I think it started with trust and respect and showing that Coach truly does care for us more than just about the game of football. And once those guys see that, I mean, I've got a son of my own that plays football, and you know, his coaches that he loves the most are those that they may not talk football to him. They just talk about life, and that's who we are.
Go to the camera platform, front row on the left side.
Chad, right here. What does this opportunity mean to you to be one of 14 coaches in the premier conference in the country? And does it help to maybe have a bit of a pressure break knowing that you're part of a large rookie class of coaches?
Well, you know, I don't know so much about the pressure break, and I don't think anyone would put any more pressure on me than I would myself and our staff. What does it mean to be sitting here as one of 14? It's incredible. I'm just going to be straight with you, and it's something that I'm very honored that I give, as I've shared before. There's a lot of high school coaches that are sitting out there watching this very press conference and